And you trying to get out Miss Rose, did you ever unlock that door? Did I do what? Did you ever unlock that door? He came in. It was. You must not pull. I went back here. You must not pull upon it. Oh, you didn't even pull it because I told you. I thought it was still. Oh, she said she thought you had tried to come in that door. She said you said it hard enough. Oh, the bottom. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. How is everybody? Everybody good? Yeah. I need my eyes. So, welcome to the grief session. Are y'all ready to rock and roll? All right. Mr. Reeves, it hadn't changed any. Nah, I just probably gotten a little older since we did it last. Yeah. But those of you who are on Facebook, we welcome you. We welcome the people who are here. We're in person and on Facebook Live. So, and YouTube. I think we set it up for YouTube as well. But before we get started, let's have a quick word of prayer. Father God, we thank you for just this opportunity. God, we ask that you just continue to move people in and continue to have people listen online and come in person, Lord, to just hear what you have to say about how we get through our grieving process. It's something that we have a lot of people struggle with, God, but we ask that you just give us the words to say and the things to do that will help us get through that process. We thank you in advance for everything you're doing. Continue to give us wisdom and knowledge and continue to bless us as we have road safety and road mercy as we go back to our homes and to our destinations. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right. So, this topic came about because I have a lot of people who ask me, yeah, I'm doing this, but I can't get through this part, or I know what to do, but I just don't know how to do it, or it's not working for me. A lot of things don't work for the same people. Some things work for some that don't work for others. What you got? You can't see. Still, see, it's got half a head. Oh. Yeah. Look at it now. Yeah, it's just your little hand. It's showing me it's not. It probably hadn't caught up with you yet. It's okay. We're trying to get me in the picture here. Still not sure. Now, you have to it down though, so you're not gonna be able to see the TV. TV, yeah. A little bit, yeah. Technology. See, I popped in there like magic. Yeah, because it's showing me on this one. Yeah. So, and if you can make comments, if you can make comments, let me know you can hear me okay. Let me know that you see me okay. You don't really need to see me. You just need to see my presentation. How about that? So, any questions right now before we get started? So but what I was saying is, when I have people come up and ask me things, sometimes it puts into my mind of what I want to present or how I want to present it. And then God kind of gives me the flow of what I need to say when I put it together. So the first slide is accept your feelings. We don't want to do that because first of all, it hurts. First of all, it makes us sad. It also gives us several emotions, but that's okay. And I tell people all the time, it's okay not to be okay. It's not okay when you're doing unhealthy grieving. And I think we've talked about that. Mr. Reeves shared before about some of the unhealthy things that he's been through with his grieving process. But sometimes unhealthy grieving causes a lot of things. It causes your health to start failing. It causes your blood pressure to rise. It causes your blood pressure to drop. It causes you to overeat. It causes you to undereat. It causes you to stay in your room and close the blinds and not want to come out. It turns into depression. So those are the unhealthy things that we don't want you to go through. Um, but the healthy things is okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay to want to be by yourself sometimes. But it's not okay when you want to be by yourself all the time. Okay? Um, all of those things are normal. Use what works to get you through the healthy part of the grieving. Okay? When you don't, uh, oh, sorry. When you're not having a healthy grieving, you're having an unhealthy grieving. So let's not have the unhealthy, let's go with the healthy grieving. Because grieving doesn't stop. You're going to have grieving either way. Do you want it to be healthy or do you want it to be unhealthy? Okay? Um, let the pain happen. Feel your emotions so you can move through your grief. If you're sad, it's okay to be sad that day. If you see something that reminds you of your loved one, share that with people. Grieve during that time. But when you allow it to overtake you instead of you overtaking it, because the death of that loved one, they're not coming back. You know, that sounds harsh, but they're not. They're not coming back. So how do we celebrate them? How do we keep them in our memory? And those are some things that'll help you get through your healthy grieving. Write what you can't say out loud. Sometimes when people call or when you go back to church after the loss of a loved one, when you go back to work after the loss of a loved one, sometimes you just don't have words to say. You know, that people ask you questions. They start asking, "How you doing? What's going on? Are you okay?" You really don't want to talk. So you hold all that in, and all it does is start choking you. And you start smothering in your own grief. So we want you to be able to get this heavy weight off of you, and the way to do that is journal. Start journaling. If you like to draw pictures. If you have things you want to talk about, but you don't want to talk about them with other people right now, journal them. Put them down in a notebook or put them in your notes in your phone, because sometimes you might be sitting in your car. Sometimes you might be at work. Go to your notes in your phone and just jot down some things that you're thinking about at that time. That's either making you sad, making you have emotions, making you feel like I'm feeling a little down or a little depressed right now. Go in your phone and jot down those things that you're feeling. That way, you're not holding on to it. Because the more things you think about and the more things that you start to struggle with, the more it chokes you. And you'll feel yourself talking like this. It's because you're choking on what you haven't gotten rid of, or haven't laid down or put to the side, or written down on a piece of paper. Okay? Any questions so far? Unload that stuff. Get that stuff out of you and off of your back. Take things one day at a time. We tell people that, but sometimes that's hard. That's hard to take. Like right here in the moment, I try to think about what I need to do tomorrow, what I need to do the next day. How am I going to get through this by Sunday? You don't have to try to get through it by Sunday. Take this day, take this moment, take this minute, and deal with that first. And then before you know it, you're into the next day. Okay? Be in the here and now moment to enjoy some moments of peace. When you get this day taken care of, then God will give you peace to go to the next day. Okay? And then take that one by moment by moment. day by day, hour by hour. You're not going to feel good all the time, but at least have some peace some of the time. My mom used to tell me that when it was too much noise in the house. I'm gonna have some peace in here sometimes. So we want to make sure that in the grieving process that you have peace. Because God said, I'll give you peace. All you have to do is ask for it. I leave with you my peace. Now, whether or not you activate that or not, that's a different story. You have to activate that peace within you. I can't give it to you. Your pastor can't give it to you. Your friends can't give it to you. You have to activate that. Okay? Stop expecting everyone to get it. They just don't understand my grief. Right, they don't. Because yours is different than hers, and hers is different from yours. And it's all because of, some of it is because of your spiritual growth. Some of it is because of the way you, if you lose a parent, it's different from, your grief is different from if you lose a sibling. Your grief is different if you lose a child. The grief is different depending on what loved one you've lost. So that makes it different. That's why they don't get you. And then another thing is that they may just feel like, I can tell you some things that help me that may help you, or that'll help you. They might not. You have to come up with that plan of how you're going to get through that process. And that's what grief is. It's just a process. A process doesn't stop. It continues on. And so that's what we have to do here. We have to continue on that grief, but continue it in a healthy manner. Okay? If it's a person that continues to say stuff to you that maybe feels like it's a setback for you, then you need to walk away from those people for a while. You know, kind of like friends that you don't, that are mistreating you, you kind of put them to the side for a little while, and come back to them once you get yourself in together. If you haven't gotten yourself together to be able to accept what they're giving you, then you need to wait until you get to a support person or a counselor or your pastor or someone who's supporting you through this and not telling you need to do this. That all that does is stop your grieving process. Now you're stressed. Stress causes grief to stop. Okay? Set aside time to do nothing but grieve. You're like, I don't want to do that. That is something I don't want to do. I don't want to spend my day grieving. No, I don't want you to spend your day grieving either. What I want you to do is set aside a time that you can grieve. It might be in the morning, first thing in the morning, early in the morning. You might say, hey, I'm going to go sit on my porch, or I'm going to go sit on the back of the porch, or I'm going to go in my own special little room, and I'm going to cry. I'm going to have pictures of my loved one. I'm going to have a trinket or something that represents them that I care about, that gives me memories of them or good memories of them. I'm going to use this morning time to do that. Or it may be late in the afternoon after your whole day has passed or went by. Then you're alone at night by yourself to be able to concentrate on my grieving. What that does is release that stuff off of you. Now you've been able to let go of some things that may have been a part of your grieving process at a time that you set aside for. Because if you take the time and you want to grieve all day long, that's unhealthy grieving. Okay? We want you to be able to, you determine when you're going to cry. You determine when you're going to talk about your loved one. You determine when it's time to talk memories and stuff about your loved one. And then it helps you get through the process a little more. You're able to talk to other people. You're able to move forward in your grieving process. But take that time. Take that time to set aside what it is that you need to set aside. Setting aside time to do something but grieve might be a good idea. Then go on with your day and make it happen. Don't avoid emotions. Face and accept your grief. Don't avoid those emotions when I feel like I'm going to cry. It's okay. I tell people all the time, crying is what God created our tear ducts for. Things that He has created for us, He wants us to use them. So if we're crying, what happens is those tears run down our cheeks and fall right here where He is. And He's there to catch it. He's there to catch each one of them. So it's okay to cry. And it's okay to let other people see you cry. Sometimes we want to hold it in and just like, and what we're doing is drowning. I'm not going to cry today. I'm not going to cry today. It's okay. There's good cries. Then that's that nasty cry. you know. But whatever cry it is for you, go ahead and let it go. Don't avoid the emotion. Um, Care for the container. You are that container. You got to take care of yourself. Um, until you can get back to your normal, create daily routines. Today I'm going to get up. Today I'm going to eat. Today I'm going to walk. Today I'm going to breathe. Today I'm going to open my blinds. Today I'm going to go see one friend. Set you up a routine. Because what happens is it gets you in the routine of doing something. Planning your day out. Instead of your plan being, I'm doing nothing today. It's okay to put time aside to grieve. It's okay to say, I'm not okay. And also, it improves your mental health. You think about, even when you're not going through the grieving process, what happens is when you go walking, when you go outside in fresh air and go walking, it makes you breathe. You're breathing in fresh air and you're letting out the stuff that's clogged right here. Okay? Go take a walk, go talk to people, go see friends. You don't have to live with them. You're just going to visit them. And you'll tell. My thing is with me, I help a lot of people all the time, but what happens is it drains me. And I mean, even though it's something I enjoy doing, it will drain me to where I feel like now I'm smothering. Sometimes I have to get away from that group of people and go to this group of people, people that I know helps fill me back up. When I feel like I've been filled back up, then I go back out and I start giving out again. You know, at first I'm a glass of water, and then Jesus mixes me and makes me wine, and so I go back out and make people happy again. A fresh alcoholic. But make sure that you know, be kind to yourself. This container, this body starts getting old, and then it starts falling apart, and then you can't fix anything anymore. People have automatic the bionic knees and the hips and the shoulders and the elbows and I already done started. I got one already. I don't know how many more I'm gonna have to have before but before this body starts tearing down on me. Just know that if it's a water pitcher, if it's got a crack in it and you're putting water in it to keep the flowers alive, if it's already broken, it's not going to keep the water in there. So the flower's going to die. You're that flower vase. If it starts getting cracks in it and you're not taking care of it, your body's going to die. A slow death, a physical body. Okay? You're not going to want to do anything that you used to do anymore. Sometimes we can't do the things we used to do. I tell that to my softball team all the time. Yeah, I used to be able to do that, but I'm going to tell you how to do it now. So that helps to be able to still be able to talk, still get up in my right mind in the mornings, still be able to walk, still be able to talk. Some people can't do that. They can't. Um, then this one. I like this one a lot. Honor and celebrate who you've lost. I like what Knox Funeral Home does. They do the blankets. that has the loved one's picture on it. Um, I started doing, when my mom passed, I got a little box. It looks like a jewelry box, but things that she used to keep beside her bed that I used to love to see her use and put on, her eyeglasses that just had one arm to it. You know, her bracelet, her watch, her wallet, those things like that. When I open that box, that reminds me of her because I know where it used to be. It didn't matter how many days it was or how many months or years or something that went by, I could tell you where that stuff was. And my mama kept everything right together, you know, so that we would know what it was, where it was when she needed it. And so when I open that box up, I see, I can just picture the things that she used it for. Also, her perfume that she wore. I sprayed it in the box, so when I open that box, I get a whiff of her. And that brings back joy to me. When I feel like I'm missing her, I just go to that box, you know, or I travel to Asheville and go to the cemetery and talk to her. Because she has to know everything that I'm doing. So I want to make sure that she can hear me and I can. It's not that she's not here and I can do it, but what happens is I'm releasing that stuff that I've let build up that I need to talk to her about. So I release that and I feel much better. Yes, ma'am.
And how old were you when she passed?
When my mom passed, my grandmother was, I was probably in my 40s or so when she passed. My biological mom, when she passed, I was only 3. Yeah, my biological mom. So our grandmother took us and raised us from that point. Also, on holidays and birthdays, remember this is not a setback. We want to look at it as, oh my goodness, she's not here, he's not here, they're not here. It's not a setback. It's a setup to celebrate your loved one. You can go to the cemetery and you can do a release of balloons. You can have a family reunion or, you know, the immediate family get together and go have a cookout or either go out to eat and talk about memories that y'all have with her. Pastor talks about it all the time. When his happiest moments is when we're all at the table talking about things that his mama used to do. You know, how she would be so sweet when she come to church and then be like, she'll say some things just like, wow, she's funny, but you don't, you know, she doesn't want to be funny. She's not trying to be funny. She's just a funny person, just like her son. He doesn't try to be funny, but he says some stuff that's just like off the wall. But that helps you get through the process. That's part of the process, and it helps you to get through it. Do like I did. Create that small box that you get little trinkets from the house or little things that she had packed up somewhere that you remember that gave you joy, and put them in that box so that you can go back and celebrate her. And then celebrate them at home, celebrate them at church, celebrate them out in the community. One of the young ladies that I go and do her suicide awareness event for, she started that suicide awareness thing for the last 5 years. She's been doing it because she wanted to do something that celebrated her daughter. And so she puts her name out there in the newspaper, out there in the news. She does a big thing at her church, all because of her wanting to celebrate her daughter in different ways than just having the funeral service or just having the obituary to go back and look at. So you can create things. People do it all the time. Drunk driver awareness. Was it drunk driving? Where they've killed people and women have went back and did things to celebrate their people that they've lost from drunk drivers. Drunk driver awareness, or you can make it be whatever you want it to be, as long as it's something that you want to do and continue to do to celebrate that person. You can do scholarships for kids in school. You can do fundraisers each year and take that money and give it towards donate it to an agency or something of some kind. The lady that I do the suicide awareness for, She has money in a fund that when people come to her about people that they've lost due to suicide, she'll pay for their first session for their grieving session. So that's something that she likes to do to keep her daughter's memory alive. Anything so far? All right. Y'all are easy class. We can get out of here. And then ask for help. Real help. Not just letting people come up to you and just say stuff to you all off, you know. Make sure that it's somebody that you feel comfortable with, who's your support person, who has helped you along the way. And then also make sure that it may be your pastor, it may be that support person, or more importantly, it might be a counselor that you need to go see. Does it say that you're crazy or something's wrong with you just because you go see a counselor? No. It doesn't. It's the people who don't come that need to come. Those are the crazy ones. I tell them all the time that y'all are the crazy ones because y'all don't want to come and get help. But get help that you get the real help. Don't just try to sit down and talk to friends and stuff. They don't have the book knowledge to do it for one thing, and then for the other thing, they're giving you things that they have been through and not what you need to get through it. Honoring your mindset of celebrating your loved one, not drowning in your mourning of the death. Like I told you before, sometimes we just feel like we're smothering ourselves. Don't drown in that. Talk to someone and make sure that you're celebrating that person. Even when you come to counseling, celebrate that loved one. You're coming to talk about them and you're coming to share them because you want to start releasing that so that you can breathe. You want to start releasing that so your health doesn't start deteriorating yourself. I had a cousin who him and my grandmother were really, she was really, really close with him. And he was close to his grandmother. And so she died May of one year. He died June of the next year because he just grieved himself to death. He would carry her nightgown that was taken off of her that night she died. He would put that around his neck and go to work. He'd come back, he'd get in the car, he'd drive to the cemetery. And that was his routine all the time. He had to have something of hers on him, or he would go sit at the cemetery till it got late in the night. Is that healthy? No. Very unhealthy. And I tried to tell him that, I'm fine. No. 1 year, 1 month later, he passed. He just smothered in his own grief because he couldn't let go and he couldn't celebrate her with other people. He wanted to keep her to himself through all the grieving for 13 months. So make sure that you're talking to people. Make sure you're talking to counselors or a counselor. Make sure that you are sharing and celebrating your loved one. Any questions? What's been your hardest part? I know you lost your wife, Mr. Reeves, but you also have lost very, very close friends. And here lately, I've seen you at a lot of funerals I've been at. What's been the hardest part of getting through your grief with those loved ones?
Well, really the hardest part was me. Was the day after the service.
Okay.
That was the hard. Coming back home by myself, getting out there, and like I told you one before with my wife, the hard thing with her was holiday, like Thanksgiving. Because we always had Thanksgiving dinner, and she always cooked turkey. And I wake up on Thanksgiving morning smelling turkey and fish and cookies. And after she passed, I didn't smell it, so that was a hard thing to deal with. And it took me a while to get past it. And now, and for Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's not as bad.
Right.
Because now I'm doing the turkey and dressing, I still smell it, so that, I said, well, the wife, I wouldn't do this, she can do it. But I do whatever. Christmas, like when I go do my shopping, I said, well, I always pick up something for her anyway, even though she's not there. I still give her something. this is her, you know. And I've been doing that, and last week, last Thursday, I celebrated my anniversary.
Wow.
43 years.
Wow.
And ever since she been gone, every year, June 19th, I celebrate.
Uh-huh.
I go, if I don't cook the dinner, I go get the dinner, bring it back to the house. I said one year, every parent should know, you preach to their family. I eat. I said, well, take this bite for you. You know,
Yeah.
they get through it like that. People look at me, ask me, how you do that?
Right.
What I deal with it.
Right.
So I talked to a young lady last Sunday. She just recently lost her husband, and she said, your wife been there, how many? I said, 19 years. And how do you get through it?
Yeah.
I told her what I done.
Yeah. And at the beginning, you don't know how you're gonna do it.
Good.
But day by day, you start figuring out things. Moment by moment, you start figuring out things that works for you and to get you through what you're trying to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, when my foster dad died, me and him was real tight. And like I said, not for long, leave the blanket. I got one of the blankets. At first, I hung it on the wall, but when I walked the door, I could see it. You know, oh, that's got to go.
Yeah.
So I took the folded up, and now, when at night, I'm taking the chip, I get chilly, I go get his blanket and wrap up in it. And when I go to his house, check on my foster mom, I got to see him in his chair.
Mm-hmm.
So I see him wearing that house, I ain't talking, I'm in his chair, I'm fine.
Yeah, Mr. Reeves, did you say your anniversary was on June the 19th?
Mm-hmm.
That's my birthday. And you're the second person within the last 2 weeks that I've met that their anniversary was on her birthday.
On your birthday.
All right.
Wow.
So when he said that, I was like,
My antennas went up, huh? Okay. Catherine, has there been a hard part for you to get through in your grieving as far as loved ones that you've lost?
well, my baby I lost. Every now and then I would think about her. I was 6 months pregnant whenever I had her.
Right.
We
Wow.
we have pictures of her babies, but getting over her, that was in '88,
Right.
yeah,
37 years, yeah.
ago. So, but I still.
That's my anniversary day. Yeah. Our anniversary is in 1988. August 6, 1988.
Okay, yeah. But I still reminisce about her.
Yeah.
Her name was Courtney Danielle Stringfellow. So, just not too long ago, I had, when you did your grief session here
For the church, for corporate prayer.
Yeah, it hit me hard then when I was thinking about her. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like something that you continually think about, but certain things that you see may bring it back to your remembrance. Certain things that you're doing may bring it back to your remembrance. And so and I'm the same way. I lost a child between Dominique and Deshae, and I think about that too. What would they have been like? What would this and how old would they be now? And so I come to realize I just keep that baby in my memory and celebrate them that I was. That I was able to get pregnant again. And, even though we lost her, we didn't lose the memory of her. So,
That's right.
yeah. So,
So it was a girl?
I think it was a girl.
Oh,
Yeah. Once they showed it to us, because it was 8 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, it was young. She was young. So, and it's different with different, like, I grieved with my mom. I grieved with I don't remember grieving with my biological mom, but I still get flashbacks of her. But the one that I really, really had a hard time with was my niece. And I don't know if it was because of the suicide or if it was just her being the only niece that I had. But that one probably is the one that hit me the hardest, that I had a hard time accepting. And, you go through those stages of grief. in denial, and then, till I finally got to the acceptance part that she's no longer here, and that how can I celebrate her, so. Sherry, do you have any that you have a hard time with? I know your mom is fresh. That's probably the closest, the latest one that you.
Yeah, that, just the whole part of it's been hard.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it really is. To even though it's not true, but you may feel this way that I don't have anybody. Um, Sometimes you feel like you don't have anybody, but you really do. You feel like you're going through this all alone, all by yourself. When in actuality, you do have people. You just have to have the right people, the support people, the real people that are going to support you and help you through this process. Um, it's hard to lose a parent, just as hard as it is to lose a child. So each one is going to be, and to lose a sibling. It's even, each one of them will be different and each one of them will be hard. And you have to figure out how I'm going to get through that. How I'm going to, it's like hurdles. When you're running a race and you have to jump that hurdle, your focus should always be straight ahead, not on the situation that you get ready to hurdle. So keep that in mind, that each hurdle, each grief, each death, each loss is all different. And either you jump higher or you jump lower, or as long as your focus is straight ahead, keep your eye on him, and he'll get you through all of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he has.
Mm-hmm.
Been with me the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been difficult, and
Yeah.
but nothing that I can't get through.
Not with him, not without him. Yeah. You got him. So if you got him, you got it.
That's right.
Yeah. He wants to see those tears. He's there now just to hold you and to hug you. Even though we feel like you're all alone, he's right there. Yeah. Probably my greatest thing that I like to tell people is that joy is coming, and it comes in the morning, and that means how many seconds, how many minutes is it from night to morning? It's gonna put y'all on the spot. 60 seconds. 60 seconds will pass before you go from night to morning. 60 seconds. Boom. So he'll carry you over through that. Yeah. Anything else anybody else would like to share? Okay. If you could give somebody one thing to help them through this, what would it be? If you've lost a loved one, what is the one thing you would give them to take away from this?
I think I would tell them to continue to remember your loved one and to keep going, keep moving.
Right.
Because they wouldn't want you to just give up.
That's right.
But keep them in your memory always.
Yeah. Kat, what would you leave with them? Okay. Okay. Mr. Reeves, what would you leave with someone?
Well, I always tell them, keep the memory alive, Like, I said, always when you talk to somebody, bring them up, talk about it.
Yeah.
That really whole deal up, talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it hurts at first.
It hurt.
Yeah, it hurts at first because you're trying to get them words out and your voice is trembling. And I know when my mom passed, it was actually during the time that I was giving the EOGs at school. So they were trying to that morning, and I couldn't answer my phone because I was in testing. And so when I got out of testing, I looked at my phone, and there was several calls from everybody in the family, and I'm like, why do they keep coming? They know I'm testing this time. But it was like I opened it up and I got the message that she had passed, and I was like, okay, I need to go downstairs to the front office to let them know that I need to go home. And it was like I started walking, and a teacher was coming towards me, and I was trying to tell her, but nothing would come out my mouth. And all of a sudden, my legs just buckled, and then I hit the floor right there. But she didn't even try to ask me anything else. She was like, "I'm taking you to the front office." She said, "Just hold on to me," and I was just like, okay. It was like a little kid who's following, you just take their hand and just kind of walk with them. But it's hard to get out in words what grief does to you. It's hard to get out in words how much love you have for your loved ones, to be able to share that with someone, to be able to get that out, to talk about them at the beginning. But the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. And the more it'll give you joy to be able to do that. Share their things that they love, share the things that you love with them. I know with Miss Dot, you guys traveled all the time. Y'all were always going shopping, always going to the beach, always doing. And so share those memories with people. Share those memories with the family. Share those memories with your friends, your loved ones, other people that you know, so that they know you still remember her. Because shutting down doesn't share her memory. It doesn't celebrate them. It doesn't celebrate him or her or whatever. Talking about it does celebrate them. And that's the biggest part in celebrating your loved one. Yes, ma'am.
So what came to my heart was the thing I would tell the individual would be to, if you live right, and you live a Christian life, and you accept Christ into your life, you will see your loved one again
Right.
in heaven.
Right. That's exactly right. You will. And a lot of times, we have people do eulogies at services. It's not for them. They've lived their life. It's for us, the living. So, I know my husband gets up and he says this all the time, they already preached their funeral. That's when you live the life that you were supposed to live. And so God is celebrating you by bringing you with him at that moment when that loved one passes. The most amazing thing that I've seen with watching someone transition is when Doug's brother was the first one that I saw. When he was in transition, he just lifted his hands up like this. Like we weren't even in the room. Even his mom was standing there, and he just kind of went over her. And you could see he was looking up. So he was making that transition. I was like, man, I want to see what he's seeing. Because he was heading that way. And with nothing stopping him. Like, I am not going back there. I'm heading this way. Yep, I'm heading this way. And the same thing, she wasn't looking at anybody in the room. She's just making her transition. I'm not going back there. It's too much pain and heartache and trouble back here. Why would I go back to that when I can go up to this? And that's the joy in it. Even though we miss them and we love them and we want them to stay, that's the selfish part of us. That's our selfishness. Because God gave them to us to have for that short period of time. I tell people all the time, you have a birth date and you have a death date. It's that little dash in the middle that causes all the joy. It's that dash. That's all your memories right there. From that point that you met them to that death point. So remember the dash. Remember that's where you share. That's where you celebrate. All along this journey. Grief has no expiration date. Only life and death has an expiration date. Grief does not. All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love, well, I don't know if I should say I would love. I would like to hear my new I would just like to know what the pastor would have to say about me.
Uh-huh. What kind of life have you lived? Well, the air part, he might make the people laugh on that one. Yeah. But you live that life to That's your eulogy. What you're doing for Christ, all that stuff will pass. But the one thing that's important is that you gave your life to Him. That's the most important one. You made that decision to follow Him all the way up through your transition. Yep.
Not anymore, no.
Yep. Okay.
You know, and you were talking about those when you said you see people transition.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cousin back when he transitioned out of there. His wife wrote me down with her, and they called me out there. And they were looking at me because I was acting kind of weird. And they said, the man is passing and you up here carrying on like this. I said, I know what kind of life you live. Because I was with him the night he got saved.
Wow.
Which was on Friday night, and he got on Saturday. And he did the same thing
Mm-hmm.
during the transition. I was at the foot of the bed, and he looked up and he reached up. And I looked at him, I can't reach you. I said, so, Christ had come me way to reach you to carry you up. I can't come across the good.
Right.
And I tried to tell the family all that and talk to them. They looked at me, I was crazy.
Yeah.
They said, that man died, you didn't,